Greetings, Marsh here, and welcome to episode 72 of my modded Factorio playthrough. Enjoy! So we want to try to make this as compact as possible. We have the biggest things, these 30 algae farms, that we need to find an efficient way to compact. Actually, now that I think about it, I might have done that ratio wrong already, because I believe we needed to multiply it by 3 extra, but I only did 3 total. Well, the reason why I was thinking of that is, even though this is a very large setup, there's no reason why it can't be subdivided into smaller, balanced components. So, since 10 algae farms matches up with 2 liquefiers, why not do it at the rate of 10 algae farms to 2 liquefiers, since the ratio already works. This part of the setup's going to be fairly similar to as it was before. We need a line of 5 of these. And then 5 the other direction. Make them do algae. Flip them around. I don't remember which side was which. It doesn't really matter since we're going to be doing it our own way anyway. It's like completely out of steel pipes. And we're going to run out very quickly here. Let's get the mineralized water in there. And the stone pipes on the outside. I'll worry about connecting all of the algae farms together once we've got the pattern down. For now, I'll just do it in this smaller setup here. 40 algae every 20 seconds times 0.75, so each one needs 1 blue. Let's do it near the bottom. So these are the regulars. And then the near sides. Okay. And how many total is that going to be? Well, we've got 10 machines, so that's 15 per second. So it's actually in red belt territory here. And then some power poles. Okay, that seems pretty good. And some lights. Let's start from the top. Put the light on the other side. There we go. So we're going to need to copy that a few times, but for now let's leave it. All of these machines need to be matched with 2 liquefiers. So we don't need to do anything crazy. Just put them on the side. Assuming that there's enough room for all the inserters. Cellulose fiber. Okay, let's calculate it out. 10 algae every 3 seconds times 2.25 is 7.5, which is 3.2 inserters. So we need 1 straight, or 2 straights and 1 corner. So put the straights in there. And we can do the corners in there. I kind of want to connect these to a power pole just to get rid of the flashing and to make sure all the power poles are placed properly. See, this one is not, so that's a good thing you did that. And then the output, these guys, is going to be exactly half, which is 2 blues. So let's do regulars, and then the nears. And there we go. Power pole looks like it has to be on each side. That looks good. That's pretty balanced. So let's copy it down. Let's make a blueprint. Get rid of that power pole. Just kind of shows you the scale of how big this place is going to be. That's correct, that's correct. One more. There we go, that's all 40. Let's get right in the middle. What do we need? All manners of things. Well, let's just dump what we can in here. Okay, so far so good. That's everything we have resources for. So let's load up on a fresh set. While the robots are waiting, let's get rid of some of this forest here so we have more room to expand the setup down. Even though this isn't the final spot, we're still going to need room to practice placing the machines, so I'll let the robots do that and walk down to get some more resources. Okay, it seems good enough. So, belts. Some steel pipes. And power poles. Should be everything. So we need to connect each side with power poles now. Looks like the factory's out of electricity. I wonder why. No, the rest of that's good. Maybe it's just right here is all we need. Oh yeah, looks like it. Just disconnected the wrong pole. Now we're good. So let's connect all these with electricity on the bottom. It's pretty symmetrical to put it right there, so why not? And now we need to connect all these pipes. Let's do the water pipes right here. Don't need undergrounds for this little section. Wow, we're right next to the solar farm. Will these reach? Awesome. Okay, the water is connected. Let's see what we can do with the carbon dioxide. Yeah, those are definitely not going to reach. They might be able to just kind of extend them out a little bit. There we go. Is that symmetrical? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Haha! I love when there's symmetry. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All of the liquids are connected together. We'll worry about producing those liquids later. Right now we just want them all to be connected. Well, from here we have our 20 liquefiers making methanol. And the ratio is still maintained here. Because it was 5 methanol liquefiers to every 2 fiber liquefiers. So let's build something here and then we can copy it along there. I don't know if I want to squish these things as close as they possibly could be to each other. Seems unnecessary. Actually, we can put them up there. Thinking of maybe something like this. Okay, so resources are going to come in here. These are going to make methanol gas. Well, 20 fiber every 30 seconds. Times speed of 2.25 is 1.5, so 1 blue for each of these. So you want this to be moved down a little bit for symmetry. And then the output is simply going to be gas in a pipe. Alright, out of pipes, so we need some more. Looks like we don't have any. Well, let's make a bunch. Okay, there we go. It looks good. And probably a light in here somewhere. See, we had one right here, so probably right down there. Looks pretty good. So now we need to copy this setup a couple more times here. see, I'll just copy it from here so it's easy to stamp. So just like this. We can manually move these poles down. And get rid of these other ones. And lots of pipes and things. Pipes and things, and inserters, and belts. Now we need to connect all the sides together. So now the question is, do we want to have a storage tank for methanol? And the second question here is, do we need to store methanol? Kind of the answer is no. Any methanol we have, we're going to want to make plastic out of it, at least at this stage. So there's really no benefit to having a tank holding extra methanol other than a buffer, but we don't need a buffer for anything. We can just, this is a 100%, hopefully anyway, 100% balanced setup. So we should be able to produce plastic on demand as we need it and not worry about buffering problems. So I believe this was the end of the 4-unit balanced setup, and now all of these are going to need to be combined into our 3 steam crackers. This is also where things get a little more complicated than they were, because previously we had our 2 input resources of carbon dioxide and mineralized water, and it just kind of one thing turned into another. But at the steam cracker stage, it's not quite that easy. We need to put steam and methanol gas in, and then we're going to get propene and residual gas out. So we're going to have to deal with these things. So before we figure out exactly where the steam cracker should go, let's just create a nice little balanced setup of whatever we're going to need here. These machines can be placed right next to each other since the pipes aren't next to each other. So we have 2 inputs. We have steam and methanol. So how much steam are we going to need? Well, it's 50 steam every 2 seconds. Speed of 1, so times 3. So we're going to need 75 steam a second. And we make steam just out of a boiler. We don't have electric boilers yet, so a regular boiler is going to have to do. Now this is going to be a little weird because the boiler doesn't actually say how much steam per second it creates. Well, the stock boiler produces 60 steam a second, and I figured that out just by looking it up on the Wikipedia or whatever. So will a Mark II boiler put out more? I honestly don't know. So how about let's just put 1 there and see if it's enough, and if not, place a second one. So we want to place it in a way that we can easily place a second machine. So let's place it side by side here, and let's just put a space there for simplicity. And put the steam connection there. And then it'll go over there. And then on the other side, it could have a fuel belt coming in. And technically this yellow inserter isn't going to be enough in the beginning, but it eventually will when the pellets make it down. So if we need a second boiler, we can just put a second boiler right here. It's not that big a deal. And then the water will come in, however it's going to come in. So now we need to deal with the output. We have more gases. So we have residual gas and the propane, which we want. So residual gas, how are we going to deal with that? Well, there's nothing we can really do with it right now, but what we can do is get rid of it. Barrel it. And I believe the barreling pumps are very fast for what they are, so it should be okay. But nonetheless, let's create a storage tank, because we created storage tanks for the other byproducts, even though most of the time the storage tanks are empty. And another reason why we don't put a storage tank right here for the methanol while we do for things like purified water is that purified water goes to many parts of the factory, while this methanol is only going to these machines right here, so it's not as critical that it is perfectly balanced. Alright, well that fits right there, so if we put it one space over, that'll fit. So we can put a stone pipe right there. Let's see, and then we need a barreling pump. Put it right there. I like to have a space, even though it's probably not for the best. Yep. So that will be the output belt, and that's the input belt. Let's put an extra space. So a long-handed inserter for the in and a regular for the out. Let's make it a regular inserter there. And then this is fill residual gas barrel. Okay, that looks like everything we're going to need here. So it just needs some power poles. Although the ideal positioning of them might be related on exactly how it gets placed, so let's just place it. Alright, let's pick it all up and place it back. Let's see, we want it to be as close to the middle as possible. That is the exact middle, because symmetry, and let's put a gap in there. Seems good enough. Let's put it there. Let's see, we need some undergrounds. I wonder if there's some in here still. And it's becoming a mess. I don't see any. Okay, and the power poles. Okay, and some lights. Probably just the one right there, and maybe another one over there. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's pick up some more pipes since we're thinking about it and we're running low. I think I'll just pick up a stack of each without regard, because I have the feeling we're just going to use them all up real fast. And let's get a whole bunch of power poles too, why not? Is the reverse factory finally done with its job? It looks like it. Nice. That's amazing. That took hours. But finally that mistake is behind us. So while we're over here, let's pick up a recipe for some signal lights for our residual gas tank. How's sulfur doing? Oh yeah, see? Just in the time that we've been building, we've got almost 2K of sulfur now, because as we continue to use coal, we're going to continue to build up sulfur. And the mineralized water is getting fairly full, though it's not completely full, so I think I'll leave it for now. Alright, let's place that signal light somewhere. It's going to be a little farther away from the tank that I previously did them, but I want to put it over here to keep the setup as compact as possible. So we only need to change these numbers for residual gas. That's it. Residual, okay. So see if I can find it then. Okay, right there. Okay. Fantastic. All right, next stage. Now we have to get, you know, water and coal and everything in there, but we'll deal with that once the setup is in its final spot. That's all the time we have for today. We'll have to get to part 3 of the plastic setup in the next episode. Thanks for watching.